I mean, absent religion, though, can anybody present to me any compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married? Like,
I just feel like it's manly to dedicate yourself to one woman. And
Is it?
Yes. I know that that's not a popular opinion.
Yeah, do you need marriage to dedicate yourself to one woman?
No.
Yeah.
But I think that it's more likely since it's like a stronger bond. I feel like when you marry someone, I mean, just by experience, that you just become closer to each other. Mm-hmm. And there's a different level of dedication. It's like, if tomorrow I decide to just leave, it's not like I can just walk out the door. It would be a long process.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you could always make the argument, okay, if you want to have kids, continue your legacy, it's always better to be married. But even if a man like doesn't want kids, okay, but when you're old and 80 and you need somebody to wipe your butt, like, do you want to be doing that alone? Do you want to be in a nursing home having a stranger just letting you sit in it all day? Or do you want someone who loves you, who's going to be there and help take care of you?
Yeah, you don't need marriage for that, though.
It just always, I feel like it gives it more of like, it's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We were just having this conversation the other day. It's like having 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, you need some sort of commitment. Yeah. For me, I'm like, if you're not committing to be married, or if it's not a goal, for you in your relationship, it's kind of like you can bounce whenever you want. And that doesn't really give stability in your emotions.
People get divorced all the time.
Right, but it's a much lengthier process. And again,
okay, so
I was raised Catholic,
You're
so I don't
staying
believe
together because it's a little more complicated?
Not to say that you stay together because it's more complicated, but it kind of gives you more time to also evaluate the relationship or evaluate yourself. Is that what you really want to do? If you choose to, more power to you, that's your decision. But I mean, I feel like it's not an easy way out, because people also like the easy way out. They like the convenience.
It's kind of easy.
Unfortunately,
it's
divorce really
it's easy to just leave someone if you're not committed in a marriage.
Well, yeah. But so I guess all the things you guys have listed, though, so you have somebody there in old age, you have a family, you have children. You can have all of these outside of marriage. So I could stay with the same woman for all my life. We could have multiple kids.
We're also assuming every guy is a good partner too.
What's that?
We're also assuming every guy will be a good partner. Mm-hmm. So I mean, not everybody. I feel like we have so many people. What's the ratio of like women to men in this country?
It's
I don't know.
3 women to 1 man, or
and not every man want to get married.
It's not 3 women.
It's about
I don't know what
or
it is.
3 women.
But I feel like women are. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say, Brian, if you're not converting to Christianity, then you're right. There would be no ultimate reason, because the context for marriage can't just be the kind of outcomes, because like Brian said, you could produce all those outcomes without the marriage. So it really brings into the question, well, what is a marriage? And from my perspective, my faith is you're actually marrying to a body. There's a third aspect to it. It's not just to each other. And so without that, the question is, why should you convert to Christianity is a question before why should you get married. And so if you were exploring that, Brian, I would start with, should I consider Christianity as a practice, as a life? Then that would give you your context for marriage. But otherwise, you'd be right. Without the context, it's kind of a useless question. Like, why would you get married? There is there would be no use or purpose, or there's not even an ontology of marriage from that perspective.
Okay. Let's see. I guess who here is, because Christianity has come up a little bit. Who here is Christian? Just show of hands.
Catholic, yeah.
Christian. Okay.
Catholic.
Just curious. Let's see here. Jim Bob, under Christianity, are wives, should they be submissive to their husbands?
Yeah, it's kind of view it like this. The husband is the head and the wife is the neck. And so you need the neck. It's a component of the body, and the marriage is an extension of the body, which is the church. So everything has a hierarchy, and when you say women should be submissive to men, it's a duty difference. It's not a value difference.
Yep.
It just naturally, even in nature, there's a discrepancy between male and female, as the debate yesterday, if you saw it, that men are geared towards certain duties and behaviors, and women are geared toward others, and that could actually kind of inform you what the duties could be. So the problem with the term is submissive has been largely in the last 100 years been railed into women's head, and now men, that it's a bad thing. But the problem is, under Christianity, the man is also to be submissive to someone higher. And so this is one thing I push back with people who are sort of like red pill. They're like, they borrow a Christian lens to say women should be submissive. But if they don't see how being submissive from his perspective is a virtue, why would they follow you?
Yeah.
So you're the God, you're the Pope, you're the master. Well, who's your master? And so it's not a riddle to me why women are taking it that way. They're like, why would I submit to you? And it's like, because I'm strong, right? Well, no, that's not a good enough reason. Because I'm rich, still not even a good enough reason. So yeah, from a Christian view, it's a good question, because if you ask the same question from a different view, without a Christian lens, I'm not sure there's a good answer why women should submit to men.
Yeah.
We have a message here from Lucas. It's regrettable, but secular marriage is no longer a manageable risk for men. Approximately 50% of marriages end in divorce. Approximately 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Approximately 85% of alimony is paid from men to women. Same with child support. Men are mostly, and he looks like he has a follow-up here. So I'll wait for that to come through. But I guess going back to the submissive thing, would you guys consider, those of you who are married or in relationships, those of you who are Christian, would you or will you be or are you submissive to your husband or boyfriend or whatever?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's in any situation, it doesn't matter who's making more money, what situation you're in. If he's sick and you're healthy, like he is the head of the household and you're the neck, just like Jim Bob said, I would agree with that.
Case for you?
Oh, well, since I'm single, I guess right now.
When you get a boyfriend or married or...
Yeah. I mean, the dating process is for figuring out if they can be a good leader to you and they actually are submitted to the Lord. In my recent relationship, the hierarchy was, God, him, me, of course. And then he stepped right out, and then it was, the hierarchy remains still God, myself. And so, we weren't married, and we aren't. And so... that's just something we had to figure out. But, my dedication to the Lord does not change based on the relationship I'm in. And if the husband is not submitted to the Lord, then, he steps out of line. My direct line is still to the Lord because he's the ultimate authority.
Sure. What about you guys over here?
I was going to say, you made a difference between secular submission and biblical submission. And so for me being married, as long as I have, we do biblical submission. And I do want to mention, Paul did say before the submission towards the wife towards the husband, he did say we are to submit to one another under Christ. He did lay that foundation. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, but it's are you saying that it's like
no? I'm saying I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm just saying secular submission and biblical submission are two totally different things.
Right. Yeah, so, I don't even know how would we even define?
Yeah.
Like to me, a secular submission would be a set of manipulations that either could do. Yeah. Right. That's all it would be. It'd be like,
Which is why I feel like this whole feminist idea, like what it derived from. It was like, well. It was already doomed from the start. There was like no basis in the relationship. If you're only submitting to the man, it's just like an ego stroke. So like, no, it's not going to work. And then you're going to have women acting out, but that's not how it's supposed to be.
Well, and then feminists always assume that submission means subjugation and that she's going to be a slave. And I always tell feminists that's not what it means. It means yielding. Yeah. It means yielding to his leadership and yielding to the things that he wants to do. And that is a really edifying thing for a woman's heart. It's so healthy. It's so good when it's done in the right way. And so feminists, though, they really like to come after specifically Savannah and I because we always say, like, it's not subjectivity. It's not beating a woman into subordination. That's not what the Bible talks about. And if feminists actually wanted to read the Bible and actually look at what it says, then they'd figure out really quickly that Eve's curse from the beginning has been she wanted to dominate over her husband. Obviously, the pains in childbirth part, and that's very easy to understand, but she's always wanted to dominate and control over her husband, and feminism is really the institutionalization of Eve's curse, and that's why I'm against it.